Once upon a time, a young couple was living happily, longing for a child of their own. Before long, God answered their prayers, and the young woman became pregnant. In the beginning, everything was perfect. However, after some time, the young woman developed a craving for turnips. Unfortunately, turnips didn't grow in that area, and it wasn't strawberry season either. The woman's craving for turnips grew stronger by the day, and her poor husband searched every market he could find, but there was no turnip to be found. Near their home lived an old witch with a large garden where every kind of fruit and vegetable grew. She had plants that no one else did. The young woman often gazed at the witch's garden from her window, her heart filling with a longing for those red turnips. She grew weaker each day, falling ill and bedridden, as her husband watched helplessly, deeply saddened by her condition. Finally, he decided to sneak into the witch's garden to steal some turnips, no matter the cost. He waited until nightfall and, when it was very dark, climbed over the garden wall, filling a basket with bright red turnips. When he returned home, his wife was delighted. She ate all the turnips in one sitting. But the turnips were enchanted, and after eating them, she craved even more. The next day, her husband returned to the garden to gather more turnips, and this became a daily habit, as her craving seemed insatiable. Eventually, the witch noticed that someone was taking her turnips. One night, she hid behind a large tree and caught the man red-handed. The man, trembling with fear, confessed that he was taking turnips for his wife, who wanted them desperately for the sake of their unborn child. The witch said he could have the turnips on one condition: when the child is born, you must give it to me. The poor man, seeing no other way, reluctantly agreed. When the child was born, she was a beautiful girl with golden hair and sky-blue eyes. The young couple was overjoyed and was about to name her when the witch arrived, exclaiming, "So, you have a daughter, my daughter." With no chance to refuse, the witch took the baby in her arms and left. The wicked witch named the beautiful girl Rapunzel. Years passed, and Rapunzel grew into a lovely young woman with long golden hair. She had never seen anyone besides the witch in her life. As she grew, the witch became more fearful that if a man were to see Rapunzel, he would fall in love and take her away. So the witch decided to lock her away. She built a tall tower in a dense forest, with no stairs and no door, only a room at the very top. The witch left Rapunzel there, and the poor girl could neither leave nor see anyone. Each day, the witch would visit, bringing her food. She would call up from below, "Rapunzel, let down your braids, my pretty girl." Rapunzel would braid her long golden hair and lower it down. The witch would then climb up, using her hair, and descend the same way at nightfall. One day, the prince of the realm happened upon the dense forest. As he wandered, he noticed the tall tower he had never seen before. When he approached it, he heard a beautiful voice from within. Rapunzel was singing, her voice as sweet as her face. The prince fell in love with her voice at once. As he pondered how he might reach the top, he heard the sound of the witch's footsteps and hid behind a tree. He watched as the witch called, "Rapunzel, let down your braids, my girl." To his amazement, a beautiful golden-haired girl lowered her hair, and the witch climbed up. The prince waited until the witch left, then imitated her voice, calling, "Rapunzel, let down your hair, my lovely girl." With his heart pounding, the prince climbed up as Rapunzel lowered her hair, mistaking him for her mother. He was stunned by her beauty, and although she was initially frightened by him, the prince, gentle and kind, soon won her heart. He asked her why she was kept there, and she shared her strange story. She warned him not to let the witch see him. The prince visited her every day, departing before nightfall when the witch would arrive. Eventually, they decided to marry, and the prince promised to take her away from the tower. The prince planned to build a ladder, and together they prepared for their escape. They agreed to leave the next day. However, the witch discovered their plan and, in a rage, cut off Rapunzel's beautiful hair, abandoning her in a desolate desert. Then she returned to the tower, where she tied Rapunzel's severed hair to the window and waited. The next morning, the prince came and called, "Rapunzel, let down your hair." The witch lowered the severed hair, and he climbed up, only to find the witch instead of his beloved. "This is your punishment," she hissed, splashing a cursed potion into his eyes that made him blind. Then she pushed him from the tower. The prince, luckily, was unhurt, though he could no longer see. Wandering aimlessly for months, he eventually reached the desert where Rapunzel had been abandoned. She had been trying to survive, her days filled with sorrowful songs. Hearing her soft, sorrowful voice, he called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel." Reunited at last, they embraced in joy. Rapunzel's tears flowed down her cheeks, and 2 drops fell on the prince's eyes, breaking the spell, and he could see again. Their joy was boundless. The prince took Rapunzel to his palace, where the king and queen rejoiced at their son's return, especially with such a beautiful bride. Their wedding was celebrated for 40 days and 40 nights. Rapunzel and the prince had many children, and they lived happily ever after, together until the end of their days.